What's up, guys? It's a good day for a drive, and that's a good thing because we got to go on one. All right, so we are driving currently in Boulder, Colorado, and you know, I'm gonna go for a little drive today up the Boulder Canyon. Specifically, I'm gonna go past Nederland. I think this is a drive that I did probably 4 years ago, close to 4 years ago. And so I have been up there before, but I'm trying to remember, and I really can't remember, and I purposely did not look at the map because I figured it'd be fun to just go explore. I think what happens with the main road after you get through most of Boulder Canyon and Nederland and all that, I think it turns into a series of fire roads, kind of dirt, dirt fire roads, and then maybe goes up to some pretty epic hiking. I think there's a couple lakes, maybe Brainerd Lake. Like I say, I purposely did not Google map this because the point of this is we're just exploring. I need to do a better job of getting up into some of these places, and so today I figured I would take you along with me. But on the way there, we're going to pass through a little bit of Boulder, which is my home for the moment and has been for the last 4 years, and you'll get a little glimpse of what it's all about. So right now we are at the intersection of Broadway and Iris Avenue. This is kind of on the north end of things in Boulder, and those of you that are familiar with this at all will know where I'm talking about, and those that aren't, Boulder is basically, like, I'm facing west right now, and Boulder is the last stop kind of on the very edge of the Front Range Mountains. So there's nothing behind me in terms of mountains, and all the mountains in Colorado are pretty much west of me. But they start right here. You can sort of see the over the trees right there. That's the first really ridge. And as you look kind of south, you can see what's called the Flatirons, pretty iconic slabs of granite. And this whole sort of what do they call this? Like the precipice, prominence, or I don't know. This whole thing right here is called the Front Range, and this is where the mountains of Colorado start. Off to my left there, that's an old working farm, Long's Gardens, and they still have quite a few little paddocks, I guess, where they run some animals, and they have some different, veg that they grow. But we are headed south once again. We're headed south on Broadway, and we will be getting kind of into the heart of downtown Boulder here in just about a minute. I've spent a lot of time on this street right here. For a couple years I used to run a route that was just basically a big box, and part of it was on this stretch of Broadway right here. Off to our right, that was a hospital once upon a time. Since we've been here, a lot of it has been demoed, and some cool retail off to your left. Ideal market. There's a bunch of little shops and, you know, high-priced. Everything in Boulder is high-priced, but high-priced, self-actualized goods and services for purchase. God bless Boulder. I'm gonna get over in the right lane here. So, yeah, Boulder is like a really neat little eclectic, very eclectic. That's, you can hard stop after eclectic. But it's an interesting mixture of old mining town, craftsman, Victorian, you know, 1800s architecture, and this real resurgence of like hot here and now contemporary modern stuff. Particularly with houses like down here. So now we're kind of getting into the downtown, and this is all like kind of that old feel with brick and some stone and stuff. But this is Pearl Street Mall that we're kind of intersecting with here. So to the right and to the left is a big like walking promenade that runs for probably 6 blocks. Street performers, lots of outdoor eating, restaurants, gift shops, bookstore. Yeah, some really cool stuff. But we are going to be turning in just, I think, maybe one more stoplight. Yeah, we have one more stoplight. We're going to turn on Canyon and head west, which, as you might expect, is the road that takes us up the canyon, up Boulder Canyon. And if you've ever skied or seen the ski resort Eldora featured in you know, a movie, it was in one of Warren Miller's movies. Actually, it's been on, you know, but you know, there's a bunch of like YouTube footage of it, obviously. But that is up Boulder Canyon, the same way that we're going to be going, and it's just really pretty. It's a kind of a, you know, yeah, it's just a super raw, carved out of the rock canyon. There's a creek that goes in the bottom of it that comes down from some higher altitude lakes up above. But let's check it out. Let's see how it is today. It was sprinkled a little bit earlier. What's up, buddy? Sprinkled a little bit earlier, and it's sort of held over. It's cloudy, but I think we should be able to get by without any rain. All right, so we are leaving pretty much the last little bits of the town of Boulder. Off to our left there is the public library. The Justice Center is up here. A couple city buildings. There's a nice hotel that's over here that is like a, I forget what it's called. Shoot, St. Julian. And that's kind of a, it's a super nice hotel, luxury hotel, but it's also a venue for a lot of like corporate events. There's weddings and all kinds of stuff that happen there, so pretty nice. It's like we might have 28 minutes left on the battery, so we'll see how far we can make it. So awesome. We're like 60 seconds outside of Boulder, and it just gets good in a hurry. You can see the creek there off to our right, and it sort of switches sides, which side of the road it's on a couple times. Some houses right here. Yeah, this is really cool. There are times when driving up this canyon, it is, you can see off to the left too. You see these guys riding bikes down and people walking and running. It's pretty neat. There's a path that goes maybe a quarter of the way up, maybe even longer, like a paved path where you can really easily ride your bike, and it's pretty relaxed. And then you can obviously jump on the side of the road if you feel like you'd like to also. But I was gonna say a second ago that they do have some construction in the summer. Like, dude, sometimes you're waiting here for a long time. Gosh, I really hope this guy doesn't drop whatever's in the back of his truck. Looks like it's strapped down. Yeah. Sometimes in the winter too, this will be a little backed up with snow and plowing and stuff, but they keep it pretty plowed. This is a pretty main road, especially with Eldora Ski Resort. It's about 25 minutes up this canyon here. We'll go past the turnoff to that for sure before we get to whatever mystery end we're gonna get to. Right here, this is 4 Mile Canyon, and you saw there's a couple little towns that are up that way. Salina, Gold Hill, there's a volunteer fire station or two. It's pretty, it's kind of like this, roads even smaller and certainly less traveled. I wonder, you see these little places off to the side of the road, and I'm like, who lives in that, and when did that thing get built? And how often does it flood, because the creek is right there, and also how often have you had to evacuate because of fire danger? That's one of the bummers about the mountains up here, is you do have a pretty real threat of fire, like always. I haven't bought a house in the mountains, but I wonder what the fire insurance looks like. My mind always goes to work whenever I see one of those little houses, or in that case, big house, that's kind of run down and looks like iffy whether or not someone's living there. I always think about how cool that would be to get something like that and fix it up and live in it for a while. Not without its problems, as I mentioned, floods, fires. you guys in on the mountain thing? I'm kind of curious. Anybody that's watching this, maybe you're living in Boulder, and we know each other. But for those that, yeah, I'm just curious who has been through Boulder before, and or maybe this canyon even. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I've lived a lot of places, and I think I can safely say that this vibe right here is not, it doesn't speak to my soul quite as hard as some places do. I really love lush green deciduous forests of the East Coast. Southern Appalachians, oh, mi corazón. I also love the Latin tropics. I lived in Panama for a year. You know, I've been to every country in Central America except for Honduras, and some multiple times. And you know, there's other vibes. But dude, this is pretty cool. And we got a great day. We got kind of like a interesting, partially clouded, nice day. It's not punishingly hot. It's not raining yet. What's up, biker? Yeah, and it's you know, it's spring here. It's May in Boulder, and there's a little color on some stuff. We got leaves coming back. There's green grass. There's some blooms. A lot of blooms have come and gone, but it's showing well today. It's looking good. Party with these people. So cool. I wonder how many of these are, here's like a little like modern kind of recent build tucked back in there. I wonder how many of these are year-rounders and how many are just little kind of getaway cabins for a weekend or something like that, a shorter term. Love all these little cabins just tucked in here. Really cool. Huh. Wow. A couple of the things that Boulder is really known for. Good chance you've already heard this or know this, but Boulder is extremely, I would say the biggest thing in Boulder is bikes. Riding bikes and mountain biking, obviously. A ton of road biking though too. There are a lot of miles of bike trails, paved bike trails in Boulder city limits. You can get a lot of places by bike, and kind of fast too, because of how interconnected and how extensive the bike trails are. So that's one. Gosh, this water's booming right now. These flows are crazy high. Probably not that great at fishing right now. The other thing I was going to say though as we drive up the canyon here is I would say probably second of all, wow, look at that rock. On cue is rock climbing. There's a lot of rock climbing to be had around Boulder, and people love it, man. It's not my thing. I don't hate on it either, but I just it's not something I have really dabbled a ton into or have a lot of interest in. But there's a lot of rock climbing, some bouldering, like without the harness even, and you'll see people, you know, up and down the canyon that are anchored in and you know, getting up a route pretty much around the year. Even on really cold days, sometimes you'll see people. If I can pass this guy, let's see if I can. Oh no, I can't. Sorry, buddy. You never know how long those turnouts are gonna go. Anyway, probably the third thing behind bikes and rock climbing, I would say, is skiing. Just very ubiquitous. Lots of people ski. I grew up in San Diego, and not everybody surfs, and the same thing is true here, but a lot of people. So you can see this parking off to our left. We're about halfway up the canyon now, and off to the right over here is a really cool waterfall that a lot of people hike to, and it's like this kind of rock grotto back in there with some pretty stunning photo opportunities and really cool looking waterfall, a series of waterfalls. Sometimes you'll see animals. You can see sheep up here, bighorn sheep, lots of deer, sometimes an elk. Kind of rare. I don't think I've ever seen an elk in Boulder Canyon. What else? There's a couple points where it starts to open up a little bit side to side, and there's some meadows, and also seeing some aspen trees now here and there. We're getting a little higher, and It's really neat. Eventually, we'll open up to a big lake, right kind of in Nederland, at the edge of Nederland, I guess. And that's where it gets a little bit fuzzy for me and a little bit mysterious. And so we're going to see kind of how it all finishes. If I lose you on this camera, I'm gonna keep the main camera running, and we'll just enjoy the scenery, sans my reactions and my blabbing. Lots of aspens up here now, pretty cool. Aspens grow about 10,000 feet is what people say. Comfortably, and you'll see them start to show up a little bit less than that. We're probably like 7,000 or so right now, and they can make it in there, 7,000, 8,000, and then you'll see a lot of them around 10,000. You'll see big stands and stuff. To go climb up. Does this look like a postcard to anybody? This is like stunning today. Dappled light, different like shades of blue up in the sky and clouds. This is pretty cool. Great day for a drive. Even a trash guy making his rounds through the canyon. Meadow, like I was talking about. Just a little bit more space on either side of the road. See if there's a sign up here that tells us what elevation we're at. I can't really remember. I think it's 7,000, between maybe 7,000 and 8,000. We got a lot of snow up here, and it stays around a while. You can see there's still some up here in the mountains. I think straight ahead, I think that might be part of Eldora. Some of those runs right there. Here's the big lake that I mentioned. I've tried to fish this a couple times unsuccessfully. And then you can see kind of off in the distance, that is the town of Eldora. Small little town, grocery store. Got some history with the music business. There's a good Caribou recording studio. A lot of artists came through here back in the 60s and 70s. Classic rock and kind of like solid gold era. And even still through today, there's a lot of recording and music There's some venues up here that people come play, and it's just a cool scene, kind of a cool arts and music scene, ski town. Not a lot going on. I don't know how many residents there would be, but it's not that kind of tour. All right, so just enjoy the scenery and my blabbing. All right, let's see what we got here. Looks like we're above 8,000 feet, 8,200 feet. Nederland city limit. We're gonna come to a roundabout up here, and you know, maybe I'll take you through the roundabout. I'll like cruise around it for a second, and then we'll continue straight in the direction that God intended for this video today, because I want to see. What I'm curious about is what is kind of straight through if we continue to drive. So you'll see as we get into town here, a couple little buildings. I can't remember if they have a library or not. They might. I think they do, actually. I think it's off to the right up here. Handful of houses, shops, church, post office, peace sculpture. Looks like we got a gas station. 2. Whoa, calm down, Nederland. Calm down. So this, maybe Estes Park is where I'm headed. But we're gonna go left here at the roundabout, and this is the way that you kind of come into the town, and then you would continue to go to Eldora if you wanted to. Dude, look at the hair. God bless. Dude, that is some serious hair. Can I have like half of that hair, please? Grocery store off to the left. Some shops and eateries, dispensaries. Got all kinds of weed. We got you covered. If you need weed, you're in luck, because we got a little bit of it up here. Boutiques, ice cream parlor. That's pretty cool. Let's go up. We'll go up here just kind of to the turn for Eldora, and then I'll flip around and we'll continue on up that way like I was intending.